Okay, welcome everyone to Spruce Meadow, the international ring. We're going to walk the meter 50 Akita Drill Cup. It's the first event of the Master. It's one that's important because we want it to go well, and it's always a challenging course with a very short time allowed. So if you follow me, I'll direct you towards the first fence and take you through the course. So this is the title sponsor, Akita Drill. For a vertical right off the start. We have a line which I will explain you the details of how our riders walk a course, how we come to the conclusion of the amount of stride that we do between the line. But right off the bat, I see problem with this fence because I'm not sure how I'm going to get to it. As you can see, Leopoldo's got the combination set up for the meter 60, which I think he's going to keep it there by the looks of things. So the only way to get to this fence is off the right lead, right around the new Canada House building, which is very, very short. Off the left lead, I don't think there is a possibility. So everything, so the difficulty already to number one is just the space that you're working with. This is a very large international ring, so he sort of traps you in there a little bit. So that's the first difficulty with the first fence. So we always like to be 3 feet away from a takeoff spot to clear a fence, and we expect the horse to land 3 feet past the fence. So very often, as I get to the other side of this vertical, I'm going to explain to you the determination of the strides that we do between the line. So this is a difficult fence. The difficulty is, first of all, it's a little bit spooky. The horses are going to look at this with these side wings, and then it's quite a lot of decoration to it. Normally, a first fence is a little bit more plain and inviting. I wouldn't say this is such an inviting first fence, especially with the space that he gives you to get to it. So it's quite difficult first fence, even that it is a vertical. So we move on. So every rider, you can see some of the Belgian rider walking ahead of us. So we take a step, which is about 3 feet, which is where we're going to land. And then a horse's stride is 12 feet in general. I mean, depending on their size and everything else. But when we walk a course, we walk on a 12-foot stride. So every 4 step I'm going to take is going to represent 1 stride. So I'm planning to land here 3 feet from there. I'm planning my takeoff to be 3 feet from there. So everything is fine. So I got my first stride. Got my second stride. My third stride. Fourth stride. 5. 6. All right, so this is where it gets a little technical. So I'm on my 6th stride, which leaves me, so if I was to take off from here, obviously this is an oxer, it's too long, obviously. So now I'm going to walk another stride, and that puts me too close. So this walks 7, or optional 6, which really, it's not an optional 6. And the reason it's not an option, maybe for some horses, is because you don't have much of an approach to it, and it's difficult to get going. So this line is 7 stride, but when I walk this line, it walks a short 7, which means that I cannot stay on a 12-foot stride the entire line. At some point or another, I'm going to have to bring that 12-foot stride to a 10-foot stride to give myself room and make space here. So this line walks a short 7, which is with the approach that you got should work out just fine as a first line. A good size oxer butterfly fence, always a difficult one to jump. Right by the in-gate where you come in, the horses always wants to go back the direction that they enter the arena. So 7 stride to start. We move on to the third one. Leopoldo or Spruce Meadows is time allowed is always an issue. It's very, very short. So when we walk these courses, we look where we go, we look at our space. We've got the mare in the foal here, we got the coin jump. So we try to walk the shortest route to the next fence. So we actually walk the route that we're going to ride. You know, we don't just walk from one fence to the other. We really try to stay on the route that we're going to ride. What I could see, if you feel the weight of the pole on this fence, this is what we call a very, very careful fence. The second fence, the butterfly, I can play with that pole and it's a little heavier in my hand. So you'll see a lot of riders moving the pole like that because they want to feel the weight of the pole. And the reason behind that is a horse is always, there's never a course that a horse doesn't touch a fence. They always touch one fence. But we like to somehow pick our chances on some fences that don't feel like that. This is not a fence I want to get close to it and maybe have my horse get a little bit of rub so he finished the course a little bit higher. This is a fence, it's an oxer, it's a narrow oxer. I want to give myself room and I don't want to get close to that front rail because I don't like the feel of this. That's a toe of a horse and that's coming down. So that's a very, very careful fence. Okay, 3 to 4 is what we call a broken line. The first line's obviously a straight line. So when we have a broken line, we're talking options. So we're talking we can jump Rolex a little bit more direct and have a direct route to this, which will give me a count. Or I can walk a bending line and I can walk the natural line that this is set on. Okay, so I'm gonna 3 feet away from the fence, I'm gonna walk this natural line. 1 stride, 2 stride, 3 stride, 4 stride, 5 stride, 6 stride. Whoops, I'm too short. Too short. Now, there's an option. I can slice this open. As you can see, this is, I walk 6. Now I'm gonna walk a direct 5. You can see I'm gonna take a complete different line. That gives me about my 3 feet. That works. So, the trick with this line, that's an A-B, that's a combination as we call them. So it's 2 stride. So what do I like from here to here? If B wasn't there, is 5. That's a simple way of doing it because it's very direct. It leads me here. It leaves me on a 12-foot stride. It makes me land up 3 feet away from the fence and it gives me my 3 feet in front. But the reason I'm not going to do 5 here is because I've already walked this course this morning and B is set very, very short. So it's not too full stride that I can take in the middle. If I come in 5, I'm going to get too short to B, which I'm going to walk B. So the reason from this combination, yeah, 3 feet. Again, I'm too short. I don't have my 3 feet away from the fence. So this 2 stride is what we would call a short 2. So for that reason, we're not coming here in 5. You're going to see the riders getting themselves very straight, putting a bending 6 because you have to respect the distance in the middle. And since it's an oxer to get out, you want to come in and control and be able to ride forward in the middle to get the width of the oxer. If in the middle, I'm holding my horse to make a stride fit in, I'm not going to have the power that's necessary to clear the back rail. So this becomes a bending 6, holding the vertical and keeping your leg out. This is the way this line should be done.